where you are working on the foundation. So I think there was some elements in the foundation that we kind of talked about probably sometime last week that we need to make sure are included in this foundation. And specifically, the things that that you need to make sure you add to this are going to be the, for example, the pilasters that are on each side of the, on the inside surface of the foundation wall. Also the isolated footings that are supporting the 4-inch diameter pipe columns. Okay, so again, when we had this conversation about this, we talked about how there were no videos for this. So the information that you're going to need to gather will be the information from when you did the building information model. So for those of you who actually submitted the building information model for this, there weren't too many issues with that. It was the presentation file or the SketchUp file where this became concerning because there weren't any videos associated with it. Okay. In the text chat, I need you to give me a 1 or a 0. 1 is going to indicate that you have begun putting in these particular components for this foundation. A 0 will indicate that you have not began that process. So I need a 1 or 0 from each of you regarding this. Another piece of this that you need to make sure that is included in your model is in the outliner panel. So if I go to I'll minimize this for now. In the outliner panel, what should also begin to show up are, you are basically saving each of these elements as components. So these are going to be different from groups. So you're not saving these as groups. You are actually going to have to save these as components, and those components should be showing up in your outliner panel. So for example, when you change or when you create the isolated footing, that is the 21 by 21 by 12 isolated footing, you need to make sure that you make that into a component so you can, once you create one of them, you can place them in the other locations, okay, which you will see this happened here. Same thing with the pilasters. So you have a pilaster that's here, and if I rotate this, we'll see this pilaster that's on this side that is here. Okay. So the reason why you want these to be components is for one of several reasons. One reason is if I need to modify one of these, so if I go here and select like my push-pull tool, this will, if I have these saved as a component, then any modification that I make to one will automatically apply to the other components that are similar. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you want to have these saved as components. So again, that happens for the like for the pipe columns as well. If I have this and I need to change this height for this pipe column, then it will apply to all of the pipe columns in the model. Okay, so I don't want it to seem like I'm having you to do something and you don't understand the rationale or the reason why that you are doing this. Okay. So what should be happening with this foundation, again, you have the instructions on creating the foundation wall, and this continuous footing that is supporting the foundation wall. That should not have been the problem. Anyone who turned this in, you had the foundation wall and you had the footing, the continuous footing under that foundation wall was fine. It was the omission of these other elements as far as the 4x16 pilasters and the 4-inch diameter pipe columns that were the issue. Okay. Okay. So that's one of the things that I need you all to start. To those of you that have not started on putting in these particular elements, I need you to start that process and get that going, because the other reason for this is there are 2 more pieces that we need to do for these models, the building information model as well as the presentation model. And that is, I'm starting to put in the information or the instructions for the floor system and finished floor material. And we also need to apply the roof system to both of these models, the presentation model as well as the building information model. Okay. So I'm going to provide you with an opportunity to, as you're working on this, if you have any questions, but there's going to be an expectation that for this presentation model specifically, that you submit by the end of class what you have for this up to this point. And the expectation is going to be by Sunday that all of these elements are in there. So as you are working on this, one of the things that needs to be figured out is specifically what is the height of these pipe columns. Okay, so you need to make sure they are to the correct height as you are going to put these in. So I need everyone to make sure you open up your SketchUp file and that you are working on this model. If you have finished this, if there are no other questions you have with this, then you can be working on your plot plan that you're doing for your construction documents for the Essex. But this, I want to kind of use this as a session where if there are any questions about any of this, that you can have an opportunity to have your questions answered. Okay. One of the things, again, that you will need to make sure that you have is each of those components should be actually saved as a component in the outliner. Okay, so you see like the isolated footings are there. You see the pipe columns are here. The 2 4x16 pilasters are here. So those are some things that need to be saved as components and should be in the outliner panel. Again, if I turn these on and off, you will be able to see them highlight and disappear or hide and show. Okay. So put the mobile devices away, put the phones away. This ain't the time to be on those devices. I'm trying to give an opportunity for you to work on this presentation model and ask any questions that you may have concerning that, so you can make sure you get this completed.
How'd you get those outlines there? What was that, the interior walls or the floor plan? You just opened that up?
So in your initial file when you started this process back when you started creating like your exterior walls? That's a good question, because that question should help you with identifying the locations for these objects. So I will go back to, let's see if I can open up. Save this, don't save, don't save. I don't need to save. So you should have had a file that when you first started this out. Yeah, because everybody started out with this particular file here that has like so if I turn all these things off, you have your foundation plan that you can use in order to start to create, like, for example, the isolated footings. So if I just go to the rectangle tool here, I can just draw that rectangle on there. That's that isolated footing that is in place. Y'all ain't gonna trick me into doing this whole thing. That ain't gonna happen. So if I go to measure this, I know this is again, from this point to this point is 1 foot 9 inches, or that's my 21 inches, right? If I go from here to here, that's my 21. So then by default, if I push pull this and I push pull it down, how far am I going to push pull this down?
12.
12. So if I come down here, type in 12, press enter, that is my 21 by 21 by 12 isolated footing. How do I convert this into a component?
On the block.
If I triple click on this, or if I select that block, then what else do I do?
Then you right click,
Then you right click,
make component.
make component. So when you go to define this component, you give it the name 21 by 21 by 12. You can say either footing or isolated footing. So pretty much what you're doing is similar to what the Revit model already does. For the description, you can say it's a 21 inch wide by 21 inch long by 12 inch thick. Isolated footing. Say okay for that. That becomes that component. Then you simply can copy this to the other locations. Okay. And so every time you make a copy, that's going to show up over in the outliner panel. Okay.
So you just copied it. So
Yep.
All right.
Click on it. Use my move. Click on the edge of it. Hit my control key. That will toggle for my copy. So again, if I make a modification, if this needs to be changed to a different thickness or different width, whatever. Okay. If I need to make it wider, if I need to make it thicker, it'll change all of them. Okay. There are some footings that have to support. So I'll go back to the I'll do it like this. So this pilaster is going to be here. That's my 4x16. It was 4 inches, 16 inches this way. Should be 4 inches that way. Okay. This is my pilaster that's going to be there. If I triple click that, right click, make component, 4x16 pilaster. Okay. So again, so for this, for every column, like the 4-inch diameter columns, as well as these pilasters, there has to be a footing that is supporting it. So just like these foundation walls, you put in a continuous footing in under that. Each of these columns will have to have a footing under it. Okay. So I'll turn this off momentarily because this footing that will need to be under here, in this particular case for that pilaster, is going to have to be 4 inches. It's going to need that footing is going to have to extend 4 inches on all sides. Okay. In order to support that particular column. All right. So if this dimension is 16 and it needs to extend 4 inches out this way and out this way, what is going to be the length of that footing?
24.
For 4x16 pilaster. Okay. Faith, you said it was 24?
24 is.
Okay. So that footing is going to be, the rectangle is going to be 24 inches long. What is the width of the footing for the 4x16 pilaster?
Be 12.
Which equals going to be 12. Okay. there. The offset. And if I have that pilaster in place. Another reason why you want to have these various components is so you can kind of hide and show these things. This work? Do it over that way. Oh boy. That'll make it 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches on each side. And all that. What is the thickness of that pilaster?
Will it be 12 like the other footings? Or will it be different?
It would be the whatever the thickness of the one for the continuous wall. So let me see if I can bring that
Could you
drawing
do
up.
the on edge thing again?
Let me open up the drawing to be able to get some information, and I'll go back to it. Yeah, so here, the thickness of the one for the foundation for the pilaster is going to be the same as the one that's under the foundation wall, which in this case is 6. I don't know if you all can see. You all probably can just see the SketchUp model. Let me stop sharing. Share this. So this is where this information is coming from. And again, the thickness of the pilaster of the footing for the pilaster is going to be the same as it is for the foundation wall here, which is going to be 6 inches. Go back and do 2 things. I'll stop this. Go back here. Okay. So again, using the outline for the foundation plan, that will give you where the pilaster is going to be located, which you can create the pilaster and then convert that into a component. But that same rectangle, so you can create another rectangle for that pilaster in order to make sure that it is 4 inches on all sides. You can use the offset option. And if you click on the edge of that rectangle, then you can just type in the 4 inches. And that'll offset that. If I turn off the foundation plan, then you can just erase those lines there and leave that one rectangle. Then you can pull it, make it 6, triple click, right click on it, make component. This would be a 4, well, no, actually it would be, what do we say, 8 by 24 by 6 footing. The description, footing for 4 by 16 pilaster. And then this, now you got your pilaster supported by the footing. Foundation plan back on. Copy both of these things over. I'll move this using this. Pilaster and that footing show up in your outliner. What about the pipe column?
What about the pipe column? What do you want to know?
What can you tell me?
I know it's 4 inches in diameter.
Okay, so it is 4 inches in diameter. Let me stop sharing this and get the information that we need. All right, so you know it's 4 inches in diameter because of this right here. Okay. Everybody else is being quiet. I hear like one voice. I need to hear other voices. Where's that pipe column located in reference to the footing?
In the center.
It's in the center. All right. So again, we've already talked about this once. Locate the center of that. Use a circle. Get the center of that. It's a 4 inch. I'll type in 4 there. I don't need these lines. But I'm located in the center already.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
You said, would it be 4 inches in diameter or 4 inches radius?
Thank you. Very good. A little conversation on fabricating stories sink in. Circle. This option is going to do the radius. So if it's a 4 inch diameter, it's going to be a 2 inch radius. Yeah.
So for all of them, it's 2 inches.
It'll be a 2 inch radius because of the way this is set up. When you create a circle in SketchUp, it takes it from the center out. So by being a 4-inch diameter column, you have to put in 2 for the radius, so it'll be 4 inches in diameter. Okay, and so it's a pipe column, so it's going to be pretty much just adding a thickness to it because it's a pipe column. A pipe is going to have that, it's going to have a hole in it. So as far as this is concerned, as far as the offset of it, if you want to do an offset of a 1/2 inch, that would be fine. Then you just have that to go up. You just can initially, well, would you be able to save this as a component as it is? Let's see. So if I turn off these isolated footings, this is going to be the element. If I select this and go to make component, 4-inch diameter pipe column. So if you wanted to edit it, you could do that. So you can save it as a 2D. All right, the reason why I did this is because when you put this pipe column in and you raise for the height of it, how high is this pipe column going to be? I will need to zoom out of this. We need to find another view of this.
7 feet, 7 inches.
So the 7 feet 7 inches is going to be the distance from the floor, the top of the floor in the basement up to the bottom of the joist. All right, that's where the 7 feet 7 inches come from. What you're looking for is, I'll put a different color. You're looking for this. So basically, well, the top of the floor is aligned with the that's not true. So the isolated footing, because we're at the top of the isolated footing. This is the distance that you're looking for here.
So wouldn't it be like, I think 7 foot and 1 3/4 inch?
How did you get that?
I got that from the Revit file. So when we had did the pipes, we had did the top offset 7 feet 1 3/4 inch up.
Okay. So basically what in order to get that, if the 7 feet 7 inches is, we got to use that information. So we got to use this. So from the top of the floor to the bottom of the joist is 7 feet 7 inches. And I need some other folks to chime in. Now I'm starting to hear some other voices. That's good. So this is 7 feet 7 inches. Okay. Trace some things here. All right. What is the distance from between these 2 points here, as far as these 2 red lines that I just drew? What's that distance?
6.
What's the thickness of that floor?
Is it 4 inches?
4 inches, okay? It seems like between 3 and 4, but we're gonna use 4. So the distance that distance is gonna be 4 inches, and you got your 7 feet 7 inches there. Okay. I see how I can do this without jumping back and forth between these views, but it may not be possible.
So how tall would it be then? Like we got how long it is, which is um 3 or 4 inches, but how how
Right.
thick, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to put this, so we got 7 feet 7 inches plus 4 inches. That's gonna give us 7 feet what?
11 inches.
7 feet 11 inches. All right. So when we look at the distance from this point, so talking about the bottom of the floor up to this point, that's where right now, our 7 feet 11 inches, that's what this distance is. Do we all agree so far? Give me a 1 in the text chat if you agree, a 0 if you do not. So I might start lying here. Okay. All right. So that's 7 feet 11 inches up to from the bottom of that floor, which is where the pipe column starts. So that pipe column starts down here. Then it goes up through the floor. How far is it from, let me put it in a different color. How far is it from here to here?
The inches.
Say it again.
The inches.
I just hear the word inches. I hear some other stuff in the background.
Oh, my 10 inches.
Okay, so this is a 2 by 10. What is the actual dimension for that 2 by 10? It's kind of making this 2 by 10 larger over here to the side. What is for that 2 by 10, what's the distance from here? The actual distance of that 2 by 10. What's the actual height of that 2 by 10?
Not in 1/4.
9 1/4 of an inch. So you subtract that 9 1/4 of an inch from the 7 feet 11 inches minus 9 and 1/4 of an inch. That's going to equal what, Desmond?
It'll equal 7 foot, 1 inch and 3/4 inches.
That's how you know that the distance or the height of that pipe column is 7 feet, 1 3/4 of an inch. So you see how your math skills need to be on point. So when you go to pull this up, 7 feet, 1 3/4 of an inch. That's how high that pipe column will have to be. Which will be the same as, so those pilasters will have to be the same height. Use my push-pull, click there. In order to make sure that it locks on to the same height as the pipe, I just move my cursor over there to that pipe, use it as a reference. That will be that distance. You know, trick me into doing this for you. Everybody follow me here. Is this making sense? Obviously, you got to copy these onto the right points on these isolated footings, but pretty much that takes care of your pilasters, the footings under the pilasters. You got your pipe column, then the isolated footings under the pipe column. You already should have your exterior wall and the continuous footing under that. Okay, so pretty much all you did or all you're doing in this is, if I go back and we look at the foundation plan of this, okay, this line here represents that 2x10 beam that is laying on top of beam is going across the tops of those columns. So the columns are supporting the beam. Is everybody following me here? I want to give me a 1 in the text chat if you follow me, a 0 if you have no idea what I'm talking about. That 2x10 girder beam is being supported by the columns. The columns are being supported by these isolated footings that are under each of the pipe columns and under the block pilaster, which is here and here. These dashed lines are the footings for the exterior foundation wall that you see here. So those dashed lines are footings. Okay. Questions, concerns, or comments about the pipe columns, the footings, the pilasters, any of that?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
So for the pipe column, not the pipe columns, what's the thing that you did on the wall? What is that called? Where
It's
we
called
extrude
a block pilaster.
the block pilaster. How'd you get that one column to go upward? I extruded it down 6 inches, and then after that, I lost you.
So you have to draw another, you did the footing this under it, right?
Yeah, what's under it?
Okay. So in the model, if you have your foundation plan on, I would turn off so you did the footing, so I'm going to turn that off because you did this.
Yeah,
This,
no, that's what I need to do.
this right here was created, if I turn this off, was created by using a rectangle that you create there.
And then you offsetted it.
No, that's, you just create the rectangle. Then you, again, can make this into a component, name it the 4x16 pilaster, and then you can pull this up. This is going to have the same height as your pipe columns. So this is going to be 7 feet. What did you say it was, Desmond? 7 feet? What?
1 3/4.
Thank you. 1 3/4. Or if you have your pipe already in there to the correct height, you can just line it up with the top of the pipe. Okay,
All right, thank you.
make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Very good. No, Faith, you did good by going ahead and doing it. Again, now you can kind of see the comparison. So no, it's in the thing where you should have waited. No, you did right by going ahead and doing it. Okay. I need you all to get this done and submit it in to me on or before Sunday. What is going to happen, again, as I mentioned, I'll stop sharing this. I can't believe y'all got me to do that. That was pretty crafty. All right. So again, the other elements or the other things that we will need to, or that you're going to start to see instructions pop in for, are creating a floor system. We'll talk more about this on, I will give you some background on this on Friday about floor systems and finished flooring material. Okay, so we'll talk about these two elements of it on Friday. And also the roof system. So pretty much the roof composition and installation. We'll kind of talk about those elements. I'll get into that on Monday. It'll be Monday when I kind of talk about it, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be doing. And so you'll start to see the instructions start to show up as far as the demonstration files and the demonstration videos and the micro lectures on how to do this in the building information model. They will also be similar, how to do those in the presentation file, which you're using SketchUp to create the presentation file. So those elements those instructions will start to show up in Blackboard. Again, Friday, we'll kind of have some conversation about, what a floor system is, how you get the information about the floor system, and also the finished floor material is going to go on top of it. So these are some pieces we need to do. On Monday as well, I'm going to ask, or I'm going to want to see your progress on the views that you are supposed to be doing to contribute to the construction documentation. So I'm going and preparing you for that, so you can make sure that between now and Monday, that if you don't have anything or you're not where you're supposed to be, that you get to where you're supposed to be, because again, you are impacting the others who want to create a complete set of construction documents. You are holding that process up. I will say that like that. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Questions, concerns, or comments before we dismiss? Stop sharing this. All right, so once this processes, once the recording has been processed, I will send out an email message letting you know and give you the link to it. So if you need to go back and revisit this in order to help you with your presentation model in SketchUp, then it'll be there.
Could we just turn it into the spot we already turned it in for, like where we already graded?
Right, that's what you're going to do, because again, those who submitted just the exterior foundation walls and the continuous footing and didn't add these other components, that's pretty much everybody was probably fell into that same boat. So yes, you will submit it back to the same place.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay. You're welcome. You'll have a wonderful rest of your day.